Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. We are at the end of the Memorial Day weekend, 96, or a 96-hour holiday, I guess as we would call it. But we essentially had 4 days off from work. Most of us did. But it's Wednesday, so short week this week. The post office was closed all weekend and Monday for the holiday, but yesterday being Tuesday, the Marines were in the mail office, or the post office on the base that we go to pick up our mail. And we got the email notification that we had something to come pick up, and it was a pretty important piece of mail. Got down there, picked it up, opened it up, and yeah, it's what we were expecting. We got our marriage certificate from the U.S. mailed back from the Royal Thai Embassy there in Washington, D.C. And that was its third iteration of being legalized or authenticated or certified or whatever other kind of label you want to put on that. But the journey to getting a marriage certificate from the U.S. certified and authenticated and then finally legalized so that we can use it in Thailand really began with us mailing our Mississippi marriage certificate back to the Mississippi Secretary of State so that they could authenticate it on top of it already being notarized or sealed, if you will, by the county clerk back in the free state of Jones, Mississippi. But anyway, it came back from that. We mailed it out again to the Department of State, and the Secretary of State or his office added a layer of authentication to it, which was really just a fancy certificate that they put on top of our marriage certificate and kind of put a rivet in it to affix it to it, which was kind of cool, I guess. It just makes it a pain to make copies of our marriage certificate now. But anyway, it got back from that trip, so that was 2 trips around the world and back. And then the last thing that we had to do stateside for it was mail it to the Thai Embassy in D.C. So that they could also authenticate it. And now that it's back from America, the last few things that we'll have to do, and I think I can do this once I get moved over there on an extended tourist visa next year after military retirement, is take it with us to Bangkok. I may have the wife run and do it. She's going over pretty soon to visit some family. But have someone in Bangkok translate all of that authentication goodness and the certificate itself. And then we make an appointment with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take it over and get it legalized. And then once that's done, we take it to the Ampur, or the town office. I'm guessing back up in Karat, where we're going to live. We could really do it at any Ampur there in Thailand, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to take it back to Karat, where we live, and get it registered. And then, after 20 years of marriage in the States, we'll actually have a recognized and legal marriage in Thailand. Which leads me into the next point. That then allows me to live there on a non-visa, or a non-immigrant O visa. Sorry, I'm still waking up. I didn't get my coffee in me yet. But that allows me to get a non-immigrant O visa to stay there long-term with family. And so then I'll be there on a visa and just doing 90-day check-ins. So you do that every 90 days there in Nakhon Ratchasima, where we're going to live. But I think that you can do that online, and you don't necessarily always need to go into the office. So that's pretty cool and convenient. And yeah, that's just an update on kind of where we're at. No real updates for military retirement just yet. I am about 270 days out from starting my skill bridge. If you take away weekends, that's down to not much over 200 days. So yeah, weekends and holidays. But yeah, 9 months out. So 1 March I'll start my remote skill bridge, and do that here on Okinawa, so I don't need to travel or anything for that. Do that for about 4 months, and then we'll roll into our permissive TAD and and then terminal leave after that. Some of the things that I am working on right now, though, are alternate separation sites. I have one approved so that we can go back home to Mississippi, or at least I can go home to Mississippi for a month or two while the wifey's over in Thailand getting stuff set up. Or, alternatively, what we're looking at is, and I've already routed the paperwork, but I'm not entirely sure that I did it the right way, so I'll probably find out this week. But trying to get it approved to just separate here on Okinawa, and I think that frees up the need to build up more leave as we get towards the end. If I can just separate here on island, then that's much easier, and then we'll make the 5-hour flight from Okinawa to Thailand, as opposed to going from Okinawa to the States and hanging out for a little bit and then coming all the way back across the world. I think ideally we get our son launched into adulthood, whether that's college or military or trade school or whatever he wants to do, and then come back over to Okinawa before I finish up this tour and retire, and then just completely finish up those last 2 months here on Okinawa, and then make the move over to Thailand. Yeah, so that's where we're at. It's kind of exciting, not really. We're kind of slow rolling the whole retirement thing right now, but I think applying early, I applied for military retirement over 2 years out, so I think 27 months out was when I submitted my Appendix J, which is what we call it in the Marine Corps, and then the waiver to request retirement outside of the 4 to 14 month window. And I think now it's 8 to 18 months is the request time frame. I'd have to look. It just changed here recently, but yeah, I'm rambling, and if you don't care about anything Marine Corps specific, none of that matters to you. But yeah, we'll keep plugging away, going to medical, getting all the things documented, and I think we have a retirement planning luncheon next Wednesday on Camp Courtney. Those go every first Wednesday. If you're on Okinawa, it doesn't matter which branch you're in. There's lots of Air Force people out here, lots of Army folks. There's a couple of Space folks out here. Space Force folks. Sorry, Guardians. But, yeah. A lot of Marine Corps, though, too. But anyway, those luncheons go at Tingen Castle every first Wednesday from 1100 to 1300. So if you're in the area, if you're around Camp Courtney, drop me a line. I'll show you where it's at. It's pretty easy to find. Camp Courtney is not a big base, but yeah, hit us up. It's a good group in there. Lots of different stories. You got folks in there that have been retired for ages that are out here contracting. You got folks in there that have been retired for ages that maybe they're here doing nothing. Sometimes we'll have folks pop in that are doing skill bridge. Right now there's a gal that just retired here recently. She's down at the consulate in Naha doing a skill bridge. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that was a thing. And yeah, just folks in there talking about the skill bridges they're doing, and the other in between things that you can do right in that last couple of months, whether it's online training or you're working with a civilian, maybe a contracting entity out here on Okinawa, or yeah, decent networking, good group of folks. Sometimes the introductions go a little long. Sometimes those things take up like an hour and a half, and then you're stuck with like the last 30 minutes to actually talk about stuff. But you can at least link up with people. Yeah, good times. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. We'll finish up this coffee and ease on into work. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks for coming along. Cheers.